Hello, welcome to the online Creating Change conference. This is a new online project which is being put together by TIDE. TIDE is the Transsexualism and Intersex Department of Education. So this project is not to be confused with the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force Conference, which is called the Creating Change Conference. This is called the online Creating Change Conference. And when we say creating change, we mean that includes transsexual and intersex people. That's what this conference is for. The Task Force Creating Change Conference says it's for LGBT people, but I think the T means for transgender people. It doesn't necessarily mean transsexual or intersex. So we just wanted to make sure that our voices were heard and that the people that we service voices were heard. So basically this project is going to be aimed at enrolling transsexual and intersex advocates and people who have those conditions to upload YouTube videos on the online Creating Change Conference's YouTube channel or OCCC's blog. If they want to write a testimonial, an article, or blog instead. And so basically I went to Creating Change last year and I didn't really see too many people with transsexualism, and but the conference says it speaks for us, but it doesn't necessarily. So we just wanted to make sure that our voices were heard, that we also have a seat at the table. So basically, and all the information will be in the information section of this blog. So it'll be easy. You'll be able to email us your video and we will upload it onto our YouTube station. And but what we'd like to talk about in these videos or in the blogs is we'd like to talk about the issues that are being discussed at the task force conference. So if you go on to creatingchange.org, you'll be able to go into the sessions and schedule section and see what their institutes and workshops and sessions will be, and then you can examine what the topics and subjects are, and then you can let us know what you think about those topics. So it's just, right now the Creating Change Conference is being held in Maryland. This is a big year for Maryland because they're having the gay marriage bill and they're also having the gender identity anti-discrimination bill. We as transsexual and intersex people, we just feel that a lot of times the LGBT agenda is only about marriage. It used to be about marriage and don't ask, don't tell, but don't ask, don't tell passed. But we're just really curious why we always get left behind. Transsexual people still can't serve in the military. Not that all of us would want to serve in the military or support the wars overseas, but still. So basically, there's a lot of economic privilege going on, and a lot of transsexual people cannot afford to go to this conference. Because of all the discrimination and unemployment epidemics, a lot of us cannot afford to go to this conference, and so we don't have a seat at the table. So basically, our narrative is being written for us by gay and lesbian individuals, and frankly, a lot of them are very transsexual phobic. I mean, they still think that we're the same thing as drag queens and cross-dressers. Speaking of drag queens, RuPaul is all over the blogosphere again because the transgender and transsexual community is very, very upset that he's using the T word, T-R-A-N-N-Y. I would just like to say to the transgender community that this is what you asked for. When you agreed to this transgender umbrella-ism thing that said that drag queens and transvestites are the same thing as transsexuals, then you agreed to let people like RuPaul and drag queens who don't really understand transsexual people or care about our issues, you agreed to let them mock us and get away with it. It's interesting to see a lot of bloggers in the transgender community attack RuPaul and say, you're not transgender, you can't say that. But according to GLAAD's handbook, which you guys love and adore, it says that transgender does in fact mean drag queens as well as transsexuals. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, kumbaya, it's an umbrella, it's everyone under the same reservation whether they like it or not, and then all of a sudden point your fingers at RuPaul and be like, well, you're not transgender, because he actually is transgender. He's not transsexual. And so we, as people with transsexualism, we are saying we are tired of being mocked and ridiculed. Our medical condition is not a stand-up parody. It's not a drag queen show. It's not a transvestite sexual fetish. It's not a cross-dresser hobby. We're not genderqueer activists who are trying to dismantle the gender binary. We fit into the gender binary, and we don't appreciate being colonized by the gay communities, the cross-dresser communities, or the transgender queer communities. Like, we would like to represent ourselves. I mean, this is malpractice. Our patient rights are being totally compromised and held hostage by individuals who are trying to use our medical legitimacy for their own gains, and we're sick of it. Okay, transsexual individuals have medical needs. We need healthcare affirmation. We need to change our birth certificates. We need to change our identifications. We need to change the public's misunderstandings. That part of their misunderstanding has been added to by the gay and lesbian community, including the task force, including GLAAD, including the HRC. Like, they have greatly, co-opted us to cater to their agenda. So, like, for example, there was this HRC and GLAAD both joined forces to combat this ABC sitcom called Work It. Well, Work It was about two cross-dressing men. It wasn't about transsexuals. And so, but GLAAD and HRC used it as a soapbox to make it look like they were doing work on our behalf. But actually, if you look at GLAAD and HRC's handbook, it says that transgender does in fact mean cross-dressers. So you cannot, oh my god, my cat's gonna knock over my camera. Angel? Sorry. Angel is trying to knock over my camera. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, please don't knock over my camera. Thank you. Sorry about that. So basically what I'm saying is that the whole campaign was ridiculous, and it was extremely hypocritical. GLAAD has done more work than any ABC sitcom to correlate cross-dressing males and transvestites with women who are transsexual than any entity I know. Their hand guide basically dictates and demands that you call people with transsexualism transgender. We do not want to be a third class gender. We don't want to be a third gender status. We don't. We refuse to wear this scarlet red T letter, TG letter, that the gay and that the homosexual and transgender communities are demanding we do. Our doctors are outraged, and our care physicians and our families are outraged. I mean, I was talking to these parents. I was at this Philadelphia healthcare conference, and I was talking to two different mothers whose children were these little transsexual girls. They were in elementary school, and they are very disappointed that the gay community is saying that their daughters are the same thing as cross-dressing men and transvestite men. Okay, we're tired of being sexualized and objectified against our will. We're sick and tired of this misogyny and this transsexual phobia, at the hands of the gay and transgender communities. So we're hoping, Angel, are you okay? Sorry. Okay, you need to get down. Sorry. So please join us in this campaign, and we hope that as many people as feel comfortable uploading videos and telling us your stories and telling us why you feel there needs to be change in education and why this miseducation has just got to go. We deserve a seat at a table. If this table is claiming to speak for us, then we get to speak. We should have a right to speak on it. Not just individuals who transitioned when they were 50 and lived their whole lives, with male privilege and have the money to, being on these boards shouldn't be about how much money you have. And being able to go to these conferences shouldn't depend on how much money you have as well. So there you have it. I will be uploading videos all weekend, and please pass this video on to your friends. Thank you very much. Bye.